Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining today. It's a pleasure to have you all with us, and I'm excited to get started on this amazing conversation, and I'm really excited to find out more about you as well. I've done some background research. I can see you're doing such amazing things. You're an incredible, powerful woman. Just to give you a quick background, I'm one of the co-founders of Capitalixe. I run a payments and banking advisory firm. We help medium and high-risk industries to obtain reliable and trustworthy payments and banking solutions. I'm also a Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree, podcast host of Success Secrets, and also the official ambassador for IFX. And today we're joined by Her Excellency, Dr. Sania Ansari.
Hi, Lissele. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good.
Chairperson of Ansari Group and globally recognized business leader whose work spans strategy, cross-border growth and leadership development with a strong commitment to humanitarian impact. Dr. Ansari's journey in the UAE continues to inspire entrepreneurs and changemakers through the way she leads with clarity, resilience and purpose. Over the next 30 minutes, our conversations will explore the defining moments that shaped Dr. Ansari's path, the mindset behind long-term success, and the role mentorship and women empowering belong. So thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.
So just to start off, Dr. Sania, you've built a global leadership path across regions and industries. When you look back, what did Rising with Purpose look at the very beginning?
Well, since the beginning, my mission, my vision and goal was the same. I just wanted to make it to the top. And in the beginning, it was a little bit difficult like everyone else. It's like jumping into a shark tank or jumping into the ocean full of sharks where you do not know how to swim. So first thing, you have to learn how to swim, then you have to survive other sharks, and then you have to become a shark. So this was a very long, very exciting journey, but I'm glad I made it.
Wow.
So for me, it was like baby steps, step by step, but I'm glad that it happened.
Amazing. And what age did you start in the business world?
I've been working since I was in grade 6, 12 years old. And my official job started when I was 17. And my first engagement in UAE was when I was 27.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. And where are you originally from? Like, what made you want to come to the UAE?
Well, I was born in Pakistan, raised in Canada. The ancestors come from Saudi Arabia. And while I was working for a financial institution in Toronto, we had a lot of clients in UAE. And so I decided to come to UAE because I was also working for the Hermes Art Roma. And the price tag that we had in Hermes Art was between $10 million to $100 million, and I was like, we do not have a lot of clientele in Canada for that, so I came to UAE. I had a few meetings with potential investors and buyers, and then I came through this family office, Al Hamid family office, and they offered me a job as the managing partner for North America, and that's how my journey started in UAE.
Wow, that's a very impressive journey, and
Sorry.
Very impressive journey. So, in terms of with the foundation, so you were born in Pakistan and grew up and raised in Canada, and your leadership journey is now deeply connected to the UAE. How has that multicultural lens, since you've been around the world, shaped the way you build influence and communicate across different worlds?
Well, I feel like I'm a global citizen, and being from diversified cultures and regions, I think it does help a lot in the business dealings. And I feel like because I'm a very flexible person, so wherever I go, I feel like home. So I think it does help with the business dealings as well, because there's a lot of industries and there's a lot of countries where people tell me that I should not be visiting because it's not safe, but the business opportunities are there. So for me, I think being fearless and being ambitious and being multicultural does help a lot with a lot of business opportunities.
Amazing. So you feel that because you've obviously traveled and lived in different countries, it's made you more open-minded towards the world and towards the business world as well, would you say?
I feel yes, I am very open-minded, and for me, small things make me happy. Or wherever I go, I find beauty in it. So if you take me to a small village in Africa or Pakistan or something which is very laid back and very like humble, I would be happy to be there as well, because for me it's a life experience. Or if you take me to, because in Dubai I have a 5-star lifestyle. But I don't mind exploring everywhere.
Yeah.
So wherever I go, I find it amusing.
That's very beautiful. So building on that, as a chairperson of Ansari Group, your work includes business expansion and globalization strategy. When leaders move from local success to global scale, what is the biggest mindset shift they need to make?
I think the first thing people need to develop is the art of being patient and be open-minded. And also I think they should increase their risk threshold, because a lot of people get frustrated very quickly, because when they move into a new market or new country, they feel like some people think it's going to happen overnight, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes going into a new market, it might take 6 months or a year time until you develop yourself in that market or that country. So I think people need to have a little bit patient, because a lot of these companies, they are successful in their home country and they're expecting the same outcome when they go elsewhere, but usually that's not the case. So we usually prepare our clients and tell them like, this is the time frame, this is how long it's going to take. So just bear with us.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very interesting point that you made, because the culture, the business culture is also very different. So for example, if you're a UK business, the culture is very different, and your company is doing super well in the UK, and then you look to expand into the UAE, but you're taking the English culture with you. I think that's where a lot of people can lag behind on, because
Right.
the culture is very different of the business culture. So
That's true.
yeah.
And I think not just that, I think for any new business, like if you go to a new country and even though it's your franchise, it's a new business for that country. So you should be considerate of amount of the time a new business takes to develop.
Yeah, absolutely. And even the marketing strategies aren't going to work the same as if they could potentially, but because it's a different market, different culture, there also the marketing and everything is different as well.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And specifically in the UAE, what do most people underestimate before they enter the market?
A lot of people, I still feel, are hesitant to come to UAE because they feel it's a small market, which is not true. We always tell people that, of course, this is a tax haven, but not just a tax haven. Once you establish yourself in UAE, you can also move on to the other countries like GCC region. So you have 6 countries in the GCC region. You can move from UAE to 6 countries, and then once you hit that market, you can always move into Africa, Asia, and Europe. So I feel that opportunities are endless, and people don't realize that. And also, there's a lot of money floating around in the market, and I think this is the best time to be in UAE now.
Yes, and there's so many companies now relocating to the
Right,
UAE
right.
because of the opportunities here. Now people are starting to clock on that there is a lot of opportunity around.
Basically, it started with the COVID pandemic. So first people started moving in UAE because they wanted to have a second home, UAE, because they were stuck for too long during the pandemic. So that was the first reason. Then the Russia-Ukraine war started, and a lot of people from Europe started to move to UAE. And then there was other issues, political issues with Palestine and Israel. So because of all the political issues as well, people feel that the UAE is the best option. So now, before we would have people traveling for winter time only, but now we have a lot of those people having second homes in UAE.
Yeah, absolutely. And the pandemic has changed a lot of things for the whole world as well.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And people, I mean, even when you look at Europe, for example, people want safety and security, and they want to be, especially entrepreneurs and business people, they want to be around other entrepreneurs that have similar mindsets to them too. I think that's a very important thing. The mindset here is very different to the UK. So now when the stakes are high, you have supported senior stakeholders and advised on economic and political insight. What does calm, decisive leadership look like in real time when pressure is high and information is incomplete?
I think by staying calm and staying more humble, because a lot of times people do get frustrated because let's say we work with the governments and UN, and the UN projects are painfully slow, or the governmental projects. Sometimes it takes 2 years to 3 years to complete a project. And sometimes people do get impatient and they get frustrated that why does it take so long. So I think people have to learn the art of being zen and being calm. And I feel that, and I've seen firsthand, even for the private sector, it takes a very long time. Let's say if it's fundraising, it would take 3 months to a year's time. And like if you're working on a project, like even for fundraising or loan process, it could take a long time. So most of the times people start having misunderstandings and they get frustrated. Why does it take so long? So I find myself to be the peacemaker, because most of the projects that we work on, I'm the only woman and it's all men. Let's say one project has 15 to 20 people and I'm the only female, and most of the times it's surprising that I should be having the tantrums and attitude, and it's the other way around. So I think being a successful business leader, you have to have a calm mind, because I find myself making peace among all these people, because sometimes, we're human beings and people do get frustrated.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And very interesting that you said that you've been in a room of 20 men and you've been the only woman, because I have been in those situations as well. And a lot of people would either crumble, or you either grow thick skin and you learn to work with it.
Yeah, that's true. And sometimes I feel like if I wasn't there, this project would collapse.
Yes, exactly. You're needed.
Right.
So in those moments of the high stakes political insight and staying calm, how do you decide what not to act on?
Well, when I was young, I used to be very impulsive and I would react right away. But then throughout these years, I think I became more calm. And usually now we have this rule that if something unpleasant happens, like an email from the client or some issue happens, I prefer not to respond for at least 24 hours. We sit on it, we calm down, and then and you also give chance to other person to calm down, and then you thought about it like, okay, what has happened, what's the root cause, and we try to find a solution, and then we have the conversation, or that's when I would respond to those emails or messages.
I absolutely love that approach. I think that's a very intelligent, emotionally intelligent approach. Because a lot of people in business, when they see an email or something that they don't like, their instant reaction is to emotionally react on it instantly, and then things could blow up very quickly.
Right.
But when you take a step back, when you calm your nerves, because you may also be in that emotional reactivity space as well. So when you take a step back and take a day to calm your nerves and really think through the process, okay, maybe what did I do wrong, or what have they done differently, or what could be resolved, then that's when things can get resolved in a more harmonious manner, mature manner.
Because for me, what my mindset is like, your focus should be on your mission and on the final prize. You should keep your egos and tantrums at home. So I think if you want to be successful and if you want the project to happen, you cannot let your anger or ego or such issues come in the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And a side question, how do you deal with people, because I know you're very emotionally intelligent and you have a great way of dealing with egos, but how do you deal with when someone has an ego that is very difficult to deal with, what's your best strategy?
Okay. Well, I would say I know how to read people, and since I was a young girl, I knew what to say, when to say, how to say it. So I think that's very important. So usually I get along with people very well. So even we usually deal with people the way they are. So it's not just like, especially with the business negotiations, and because we meet all kind of people, our clientele is also global. So everyone is different. There sometimes the vocabulary is different, the mindset is different, culture is different, attitudes are different, ages are different. So you have to be considerate about all of these factors, and you have to know how to handle or come over when a person has an ego.
I think that's, I think what you're saying is, okay, not everyone fits into the same box of how to communicate or respond to. So it's being able to read people and tailoring the reactions
accordingly. Yes.
I love that. That's very
and
smart.
Also, like even sometimes when people are joking, and even then I would say you can't just randomly go around and joke with people. You have to see the mood of the other person.
Yes.
If you want to have a wise conversation, you have to see what mood the other person is. So I think you have to read the person in that right situation, and then you have that conversation.
Yeah, being able to read the room and people's energies.
Right.
That's emotional intelligence.
Oh, most definitely.
Yes. So purpose is also tested by adversity. What is a challenge that truly tested your resilience? And what inner practice helped you move through it without losing your direction?
Okay. Well, I think the most difficult stage in any entrepreneur's life is the rookie era, like when you're just getting started. And at that time, I think things are usually, they tend to get very difficult, because you'll see there's a lot of competition, and the market is usually very cutthroat, and then then you also have to face a lot of failures and whatnot. So I feel like you have to develop a thick skin, and you have to stay consistent regardless of how many failures you have. You have to keep going, and if you stay focused and stay in your own lane, I think you should be fine.
I like that. And I love what you're saying about, okay, at the beginning of the journey, being a rookie, it's like being thrown into the deep end of business, right?
Right.
And I think I've also experienced that as an entrepreneur, especially in the early days where you're not really sure, especially when you're a lot younger as well. I've been in business I've had my business for over 7 years now, and I was very young when I started, 23. So I can understand exactly what you're talking about here. So as your influence grew, you have been recognized internationally for both corporate and humanitarian work, which is very incredible. How do you balance ambition with responsibility while staying effective and focused?
I think it's better to stay humble, because if you stay humble and if you don't let your success get to your head, then life becomes a lot easier. And for me, I'm keep amplifying or keep enhancing my my vision, and I'm keep redefining it. So let's say every time you achieve a milestone, the bar gets higher and higher and higher. So this way you can also stay focused, so you don't let things get to your head. So it's like, okay, let's say you receive an award and you celebrate for one day, and then next day you become normal. Then what's next? So it's always like, okay, I did this, what's next? So I think that's a good recipe for success.
Yeah, always aiming for the next thing. And I guess to some people that could be not such a good thing, but then if you're wanting to be an entrepreneur and you're wanting to be very successful, that's how it has to be, right?
Right. Sorry, I'm just going to reread your question because it's very loud around, so I don't miss anything.
No worries.
Okay, so you're back to your question. I think I missed one part.
Yeah.
So you said how I balance my work.
Yeah, how do you balance ambition with responsibility while staying effective and focused?
Okay. So I feel like if you love your job and career, it does not feel like work. And my work is more like a lifestyle. So I think wherever, usually, so since the COVID happened, I don't usually go to the office a lot. I try to manage my work, and because our clientele is international and there's different markets, like the timing for our meetings for North America are late night. So usually I manage my time well. So this way it doesn't feel like work.
I love that. And I think it's so important that when you're running a business, you really do have to love what you do, because if you don't love it, then it's going to feel like just a normal job and you're not going to have the passion. And when you really do love what you do, then you can just continuously work on it through day and night.
Yeah, but it's also important that you manage your time well. So for me, it's like if it's in-person meeting, I would not have more than 1 to 2 in-person meetings per day, and then there's Zoom meetings, and then you have to find time for yourself and your friends. So I think if you live a balanced life with work and personal life, it doesn't feel like work then.
I love that. And let's turn to women empowering women, an area that I love to talk about and very passionate about as well. Looking at what works in practice, what form of support creates the biggest impact? Sponsorship, mentorship, opening doors, or building networks?
I think for me, mentorship and networking is more important because, okay, so let's say it's sponsorship. Sponsorship is like when you give fish to someone, that's less time consuming. You're like, hey, here's the money or here's the fish, you go home, it's over. But when you say mentorship or teaching teaching someone how to fish, that's long term. It's also more dedicated for yourself and more fulfilling for yourself because you're teaching someone how to develop their own career. So for me, it's I believe in teaching someone how to fish rather than handing over a fish. And also, I think women should develop a sisterhood and help each other. And I'm also I'm ambassador of 8 NGOs globally, and 2 of them, they are dedicated to women. One of them is Wonder Women Association of Pakistan, and the second one I'm on the board. It's called the Women's Collection, and it's a women-led organization for women. So yeah, I think women empowerment is very important, and it's very close to my heart.
Amazing. And I completely agree with you on all of the areas: mentorship, creating communities, and this is something that I've been doing myself recently, because when I've first started my business, I didn't really have any women around me, especially female entrepreneurs.
Right.
And now that I'm at a certain level, running it for 7 years, I now have like a network of really great women around me. So I've created like a community, and I always host dinners with them and bring them all together. And they're really happy about that.
Yeah, most definitely. You need your support system.
Yeah, exactly. And they're always saying, oh, I'm so grateful for this because it's so nice to have other women just supporting each other.
Right.
Good energy. And what is one thing leaders can do this month? So in terms of what we've mentioned and the women empowering section, what is one thing leaders can do this month to create real momentum for women?
I think leaders can create more opportunities for women. And I know that a lot of governments, specifically in UAE, and I also know a lot of other countries as well, they have a set quota, let's say for governments, they have a set quota for women in parliament. So there has to be a specific number of women in politics as well. And when you talk about private sector and corporate world, there's also a lot of companies who are emphasizing on having more female leaders as well, so that there should be a ratio between men and women. And I feel even now, I think we have to do a lot of work for women. Because when you see on the executive roles, like at the very top tier, you see there's very few numbers of females, and I think our fellow males, I think men have to help women to reach the top as well, and also bring out more opportunities in the executive roles.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I'm completely for that as well. Helping to create that rope ladder and helping to create more opportunities for them as well, because especially when you're entering like a male-dominated space, a lot of women could feel very intimidated.
Right.
And it can be scary as well. So having the support system for women that are in that, like what you're currently doing, the associations and the networks, I think that helps massively as well to help them feel that they do belong.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah. So if everyone here remembered just one thing from your journey, one principle or action to help them rise with purpose, what should it be?
I think you should know your destination before you buy a train ticket. So having said that, everyone should develop a mission and a long-term and short-term vision for themselves. Even though if it's for your personal life, your love life, your relationships, your business, whatever it is you're doing, you have to have a vision for yourself. And let's say if I want to buy a Ferrari, it's like having dreams. If I want to buy a Ferrari or that $1 billion house or $1 million house, this is my mood board, this is my vision that I want to have a Ferrari. So then I will start working towards that. So a life without purpose, I think it's a waste. So everyone should always have a vision of where they want to be.
I think that's so important as well, because if you don't have your eyes, I mean, I say this as myself, I say eyes on the prize.
Right.
Eyes on the vision, eyes on what you want.
That's important.
Yeah, eyes on the prize, because if you don't know where you're going, then how do you know what you're aiming for and what you're working towards each day? So just to close, because we're coming towards the end of the session, I have a couple more questions.
Okay.
What is a moment you're most proud of, not because of the title, but because of who you became through it?
I think as a human being, as a person, I have evolved a lot. And over the years, I think most important thing, especially in business, if you're in public a lot, I think you have to develop a strong stomach and a thick skin for all the negativity, all the setbacks, all the failures. So I think I'm proud of that, because as a young entrepreneur or a young person, usually people are very impulsive and they get very emotional. So it took me a long time, but I think I'm proud of that, the person I have become today. And also, I feel that every year I'm keep evolving. So the person I was last year, I'm not the same anymore. Even the person I was a month ago, I'm not the same anymore, because you should always have self-reflection, and you should see what's going well for me, what's not going well for me, and then you work on that. So that's how you keep progressing, that's how you keep evolving. And I think this is something I'm proud of, that I'm very critical on myself, like I'm a good critic for myself. So some people are, I think, too proud to admit that they could be wrong, or they're doing something wrong, or they made a mistake. So for me, I see myself and I'm like, okay, this is working, this is not working, let's change that, let's make it better.
And I think that's very beautiful as well. And there's a saying is, don't compare yourself to others, compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. So
right.
Focus on yourself and focus on who you were before, and trying to always better yourself.
Right, because if you start comparing yourself with other people, you will never ever be happy and at peace, because when you look at another person, you look at, it's like you see the cover of the book, but you don't read it, so you don't know what the journey is. So if you compare to the cover only, your life will be ruined and you'll be devastated, because you compare yourself with everyone else, but you don't realize that everyone has their own journey, own struggles. And I think it's better to just focus on yourself, stay in your own lane, and then just do not compare with others.
Yeah. And I think, again, that comes into the vision, right?
Right,
vision
right.
of what you have for yourself and your goals. And as long as you're focusing on those, and the comparisons it should die down.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just ending the session now, and I just wanted to say thank you everyone for joining us. I hope you found the conversation and the interview very insightful. I know I have. I feel very inspired from your journey.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Sania.
You're most welcome. Okay.